Today, shearing someplace right around 45 head here at this farm, and then typically packing up, going to another job this afternoon. What I do with my job as an independent shearer is go from flock to flock to flock. Some days I may be 4 or 5 different places in a day. Other days there may be enough sheep where I'm there for a day or 2 days or maybe 2.5 days. It just depends. Shearing takes absolutely every single part of your body. Every last muscle you've got is used in this. It's considered to be the most difficult job, physically difficult job in the world, physically demanding. Yeah, sheep have to be shorn every year, basically. It's not like they're going to die if you don't do it and maybe you miss a year, but the wool is nonstop growing. Just like our hair, it grows continuously, and they do not shed. Domestic sheep don't shed. If a sheep grew 4 inches this year, it's going to grow 4 inches again next year. It's going to grow 4 inches the next year after that. There's nothing that'll slow down that growth. And so now you'll end up with just this big ball of a real mess, in fact. Tangled wool, all sorts of things. And you think about the weight of it. Not just the length, but the weight. If that's a 10-pound fleece this year, that animal's got 20 pounds next year, 30 pounds the next year. Well, if you're talking an animal that only weighs 130 to say 170 or 90 pounds, that starts to get quite a bit of weight. If I think a sheep is going to kick, then you can feel that tension starting to build up. And they'll respond sometimes very quickly. So you feel that tension, you know right away that you have to do something slightly different. You have to get that blow finished quicker than otherwise you might have, or you have to reposition that sheep, and it might be ever so slightly, to make sure that you've given it maybe even something else to think of, like, oh, okay, well, now what? Or the fact that you've just made it a little more comfortable and avoid that sudden thrust or kick or the struggling that they're going to do. Sheep don't like being shorn. No animal likes being tipped over and rolled around in these funky positions. They pretty much tolerate it, but you learn how to manage the sheep while it's there on that board for a couple of minutes, and you're constantly picking up feedback from the sheep. The good quality shearing adds value to the fleece. If it's full of skin actually attached to the fibers, that's a downgrade for that fleece. If there's a whole bunch of second cuts, especially massive second cuts where really long second cuts, that gets tangled in with the wool, and that won't spin the same as the longer fibers. So you get kind of a funky appearance to your spun fiber. So yeah, very definitely the quality of the shearing adds to the quality of the fleece that they're trying to sell.